Topic 1. Ukrainian President Zelensky's visit to Berlin for international support amid ongoing conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy recently visited Berlin amid escalating Russian bombardments, where he met with Germany's new Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Ukraine is requesting additional military support, and Germany is the second largest military supporter after the United States. Chancellor Merz announced that Germany and its key allies will no longer impose range restrictions on weapons supplied to Ukraine. President Zelenskyy plans to discuss the supply and use of long-range weapons during his talks with Germany, emphasizing that Ukraine needs an additional $30 billion to produce drones and missiles. Meanwhile, fierce battles continue on the front lines, with both sides conducting deep attacks. Topic 2. Thames Water faces record fine for environmental and regulatory breaches. Thames Water has been hit with a record fine of £123 million for environmental and regulatory violations. Of this, £104.5 million is for environmental damage caused by sewage discharges into rivers and streams, while £18.2 million relates to breaches of dividend regulations. Ofwat stated that Thames Water failed to build, maintain, and operate adequate infrastructure and paid unjustified dividends. The fine will be borne by the company and its investors, not passed on to customers. Thames Water is currently struggling financially with around £19 billion in debt and is seeking to sell itself to the American investment firm KKR. The government and politicians have criticized Thames Water for paying excessive dividends to investors and high salaries to executives without investing in infrastructure improvements. Thames Water claims to take its environmental responsibilities seriously and has made progress in addressing the issues. Topic 3. SpaceX's continued Starship launches despite setbacks. Despite experiencing its third consecutive failure, SpaceX continues to test its Starship system. This system is designed to transport people and equipment to Earth, the Moon, and ultimately Mars. In the recent test flight, the first stage booster exploded, and the second stage Starship spacecraft became uncontrollable and exploded due to a fuel leak. However, SpaceX is using the data from these failures to improve Starship's reliability and plans to accelerate launches every 3 to 4 weeks. The FAA has approved an increase in SpaceX's launch frequency, and NASA relies on SpaceX's Starship to send astronauts to the Moon through its Artemis program. Elon Musk continues to pursue the goal of increasing Starship's launch frequency and achieving multiplanetary life despite these setbacks. Topic 4. Trump media's plan to raise $2.5 billion for Bitcoin investment. Trump media has announced plans to raise $2.5 billion from institutional investors for Bitcoin investments. This plan aims to hold Bitcoin as a core asset, consisting of $1.5 billion in common stock and $1 billion in convertible bonds. The Bitcoin will be stored with Anchorage Digital and Crypto.com. This announcement comes as Bitcoin approaches its all-time high, contributing to former President Trump's positioning as the crypto president. Trump media describes this move as a defensive strategy to protect the company from the conservative practices of financial institutions. Additionally, they plan to launch ETF and digital asset products in partnership with Crypto.com. This further strengthens Trump's influence in the cryptocurrency space, reflecting a trend of politically connected companies adopting Bitcoin-centric financial strategies. Topic 5. Legal challenges involving Trump and geopolitical issues. Chinese e-commerce company PDD Holdings reported a 47% drop in net profit for the first quarter, totaling 14.74 billion yuan, approximately $2.5 billion. This decline is attributed to fierce local competition faced by domestic platforms and the impact of global trade uncertainties on international operations. U.S. listed shares fell by over 17%. The tariff issues bet